What is going on, YouTube? This is Dave with Dini Performance coming to you live from the garage. Actually not live, I'm going to upload this video later, but anyway, so I'm working on the C10 right now. Been battling a couple of problems, trying to get this stuff situated and worked out, and I got 3 of the problems tackled that I was working on. One was just a fuel line and a couple of fuel leaks, and then the ICT billet, the bracket kit, come to find out that, and this is my fault, I should have probably read this, but you can't use the 130 amps. So I got this 130 amp alternator. I think it's 130 amp or 144 amp. Anyway, they're both the same other than the amperage output. You cannot use this. So come to figure or find out, I don't know if you guys can see this pulley here. It protrudes out just enough to where it throws the belt off. So I went and got a 105 amp and put the 105 amp on. Everything is working great. The kit looks good. The other thing that I wanted to touch on was the wiring for the alternator, because I've been trying to figure out the wiring for the alternator, and this has been this has been one of those things where I did it on the jet boat but couldn't remember, you know, how it went, and now I have it laid out. So this is kind of for me too, not only for you guys but for me, so that I can go back and reflect on this. But this is exactly the way my alternator is. It has these markings right here, P, L, F, and S. So the P, you're just not going to use that. The L terminal, you're going to use that, and what you're going to do here is you need key switched power. You have to have key switched power here, and you can either use a 50 ohm resistor or a 100 ohm resistor. I have a 100 ohm resistor. I used the same 100 ohm resistor on the jet boat and it worked good. And then this one, the F terminal, it just needs to see, all it needs to see is key switch 12 volt power. And then your S terminal, so I had this in junction with the powered terminal coming off the back of the alternator. So I'll lay this out the way I have this right now. It's windy and cold out here too. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see right here. So this one here, this is your P. See, this is your L, your F, and then the last one is going to be your S. And your S, all it's going to do is just come back in and go right onto the back of the terminal on the alternator. And then your I think this is your F. It's your F. No, yes, it's your F. So your F is just going to see key switch power on. That's all it's going to do. And then your L, this is the part that needs it needs to have, is your L is going to have key switch power to an indicator light that I have hooked on. I'm going to make sure this indicator light, when you turn the key switch on, that indicator light on the dash, and then in between that, it's going to be, the indicator light is going to be hooked into key switch power 12 volt, and then in between that is going to be this resistor before you get into the alternator itself. But anyways, what I was talking about was, here's my junction down here, and I just used the Rustarado junction box, and I'm pretty sure I can probably take that off of the back of there and then run it in there, but I'm just going to leave it for right now because right now it's just working. But before I had that hooked into there. So I'm just going to disregard it and leave it hooked right into the back of the alternator and just leave it like that. And then the other problem that I was having was just the fuel leak, but that was just a hose clamp, and then I had another fuel leak right here. But this thing is pretty much the major, or not the major problems, but the little tedious problems that I had going on with this thing are now worked out. I'm still making mounts for the fan, and there's some other stuff that needs to be addressed, but the 6-liter is over here, and Cutlass is coming in tomorrow, so I'm glad I got those problems on this thing tackled. I still need a drive line and a floor shifter for it. Budget wise, the money just hasn't come in yet for that. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks I'll be able to start hunting down some of this stuff. The drive line, I'm going to get it done at Inland Drive Line. I'm going to take it down there. They told me how to measure everything. I'm going to take it down there, and they're going to build me a brand new drive line for it. And the floor shifter, I'm hoping to maybe find something on, you know, Craigslist or Marketplace, or even OfferUp for that. But this thing's probably going to tie up the majority of the next, or actually probably till the end of the year at this point. I got a lot of stuff to do on this still. I mean, it's ready to drop into the car, but I still have to wire the car up. Fuel system still needs to be done. There's just a slew of things that have to probably finish the C10 by the end of the year. I just don't think it's going to happen at this point. I'm thinking maybe mid-January 2021 that thing will be ready, and I should be able to drive it. Put that information out there. That helps when you're doing, you know, swaps like this, or, you know, because there's just not a whole lot of information on YouTube regarding some of the wiring stuff that goes on. Anyway, this is this is Dave with Dini Performance. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Comment. Tell me if you guys like this content or not. Anyway, we'll see you guys on the flip. Talk to you later.